Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Can you hear me? Yeah, I was muted before. Wow, the harniks are ready. Remember to breathe. It'll be a few seconds. This is so exciting. Wow. Bella. So nice to see all these faces. Just getting settled here in the main sanctuary.
You have a lot of faith. You have more faith than I do. Yeah, it's. Yeah.
So welcome, everyone. As we conclude this very first day of the month of Elul, that means the high holidays are close. We've been working hard all week doing filming of honors and Torah readings and family services. So we feel like we're almost halfway there to the Chagim, but not quite yet. One of the traditional psalms that's offered as we enter the month of Elul is Psalm 27 that says, I just ask for one thing of God, that I can dwell in God's house, that I can gaze on God's beauty, that I can live with an awareness of the divine, that I can come into this life with some humility, some strength, some hope. So we're going to begin our service with those beautiful words. Achat sha'alti.
Lai, lai, la, lai, 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 la, lai, 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 la, 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 lai, lai, lai. Yai, lai, 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 yai, 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 lai. Ya, la, lai, 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 ya, la, lai, lai, lai. Yai, lai, ya, lai, lai, la, lai. Yai, la, lai, lai, la, lai. Ya, la, lai, 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 lai. Ya, la, la, lai, lai, lai. Ya, la, la, lai. Ya, la, lai, lai, lai. Achat she'alti me'et Adonai ota avakesh. Achat she'alti me'et Adonai ota avakesh. בבית אדוני כל ימי חיי, לחזות בנועם, בנועם אדוני, ולבקר בהיכלו. לחזות בנועם, בנועם אדוני, ולבקר בהיכלו. Ay, ay, lay, 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 ay, lay, lay, lay. Ah, la, lay, 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 la, la, lay, lay, lay. Ay, lay, 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 la, lay, 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 lay. Ay, lay, 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 ay, lay, la, lay, ay, ay.
So just a few years ago, Mayor and I and Gavi and Adina had the joy of traveling with the Harnick family to Israel. And there are a lot of precious memories from that trip. But I'm calling them to mind because this very day, we are celebrating Carl and Fran Harnick's 60th wedding anniversary. Wow, everybody jazz hands. That's amazing.
60 years.
It's so beautiful. It was beautiful to spelunk in caves deep into the earth. It was amazing even to be on that plane ride with you. Thank you for letting my daughter rest her feet on your lap. And we invite you now to kindle the lights of Shabbat with your beautiful family surrounding you. We're on page 2.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu l'hadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the lights of Shabbat. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who have kindled light. Amen.
Amen. Mazal Tov. May you continue to go from strength to strength. You are an inspiration. Your devotion to community and family and your energy, it's contagious. Mwah.
Thank you. Thank you.
We continue on page 12 as we enter the Psalms of Kabbalat Shabbat, beginning with Psalm 95, the first 4 lines. Lechu neranena l'Adonai nariya letzor yishenu nekad mafanav betoda bizmirot nari halo. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, מסרו מיום ליום ישועתו, ספרו בגויים כבודו בכל העמים נפלאותיו. Ay, 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 כי כל אלוהי עמים אלילים באדוני שמיים עשה הוד והדר לפניו לוז ותפארת במקדשו עלי 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 ay 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 ay. We're at the bottom of page 13. Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, v'tagel haaretz, Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, v'tagel haaretz. Yeram hayam, Yeram hayam, Yeram hayam umlo. Yeram hayam, Yeram hayam, Yeram hayam umlo. יעלו שדה וכל אשר בו, אז ירננו כל עצי יער, לפני אדוני קיווה, קיווה לשפוט הארץ, ישפוט תבל בצדק, ויאמין באמונתו.
Or Zarua is on the bottom of page 14. This concept of light being planted for those who are righteous. My face is all illuminated. I got proper lighting for the bima. Do you like it? Light being sown. This is a time when we're supposed to see ourselves in the month of Elul brightly in the light of day, to look into our own eyes with honesty and with compassion, to see who we are, to see who we want to be. Bottom of 14.
Maybe Rabbi Tara can hold that line down. That's easy to do, right? Join in. Bum biddy bum 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 bum Here's the second part. Ya la la, ya la la, ya la la, ya la 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 la, ya la la, ya la la, ya la la, ya la 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 la. Or zarua latzadik u'yishrei lev simcha. Or zarua latzadik u'yishrei lev simcha. Bam bidi bam bam bidi bam bam bidi bam bam bidi. Ya la la ya la 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 la. Zarua latzadik u'yishrei lev simcha. We don't normally do Psalm 29, but sometimes it's nice to throw in something a little different for a little crunchy flavor. And we're on page 18. Smoled David, Havul Adonai b'Eli, Havul Adonai, Kavod Laos, Havul Adonai, Kavod Shemo, Ishtachavu Adonai, Behadrat Kodesh. Kol Adonai al hamayim el hakavod hirim diridai lai 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 Adonaios le'amo yiten Adonai yevarech et amo v'shalom Alai 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 alai
As we prepare for the love song that is Lecha Dodi, I'm going to offer just a little vort from this booklet called Jewels of Elul. It was a resource that was shared with me years ago, and it's one that I encourage you to find online. You can get just a little something, a little bissel for every day leading to the new year. This is a brief story offered by Neshama Karlbach, whose father, Shlomo Karlbach, made his mark on so much of the music that we offer here.
And wrote that melody we just heard.
There you go. So, in the name of Rabbi Karlbach, imagine you are on a subway and suddenly you realize that your soulmate, the one you've been waiting and praying for your entire life, is standing beside you. You're full of love and disbelief. You can't speak. But then your soulmate is leaving, walking off the train. Frozen, you manage, "What's your number?" But you hear only the first 3 digits and the doors close. It's an old story. At the next stop, you run to a payphone. What's that? Frantically trying every combination of numbers imaginable. Failing that, you drive through the streets, crying, searching. Overwrought, you drive dangerously, running red lights. You're arrested for reckless behavior. Imprisoned, brokenhearted and alone, you wait your trial. You prepare yourself, terrified of the possible judgment. Yes, we are waiting for the days of judgment. And as you enter the courtroom, you see the judge. The one you have feared is in fact your soulmate, the very person you've been seeking and whose absence created the sadness that made you lose your way. You break down. Your soulmate says the words that change your life. "I know you've made mistakes, but let's not think about that now. Today, I just want to be close to you." During the month of Elul, we are taught Hamelech Basadeh, the king is among us. God is wandering very close. If we listen closely, we will hear his voice. We will hear these words. "I know how hard this world can be. I know you are longing for meaning and sometimes make mistakes. But now I just want to be close to you. When things fall apart, may we all be blessed to hear God's voice." Lecha Dodi, page 20.
Lecha Dodi likrat kahala Penei Shabbat nekabela Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad hishemi'anu el hamyuchad Adonai echad Shemo echad l'shem ultiferet v'helitila Lecha Dodi likrat kahala Penei Shabbat nekabela Lecha Dodi likrat kahala Penei Shabbat nekabela Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha Hi mekor haberacha merosh mikedem Nesucha sof ma'aseh b'machshavat chila Lecha Dodi likrat kahala Penei Shabbat nekabela Lecha Dodi likrat kahala Penei Shabbat nekabela Itoreri, Itoreri, Kiva orech קומי אורי, 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 שידברי כבוד אדוני, עלייך יפנה, לך דודי לקראת קהלה, בני שבת נקבלה, לך דודי לקראת קהלה, בני שבת נקבלה. ימין ושמאל תפרוצי ואת אדוני תריצי היריש בן פרצי ונשמחה ונגילה לך דודי לקראת קהלה בני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קהלה בני שבת נקבלה. Let's rise to meet our person whose phone number we have yet to find, but we're going to find it this month because you can't phone it in on God. Well, maybe you can Zoom. God's a big Zoom. That's a really interesting idea. We can all be part of one big Zoom, the oneness that is God, the oneness of Shabbat, where we celebrate the unity between God and the people of Israel. It's an interesting idea. Boi v'shalom ateret bala, gam b'simcha u'v'tzola toch emunei am segola. Boi chala, lecha dodi likrat kahala, b'nei shabbat nekabel. Lecha dodi likrat kahala, b'nei shabbat nekabel.
Page 22, Psalm 92, Mizmor Shir, L'Yom HaShabbat. A psalm, a song for Shabbat. It is good to praise Adonai, to sing hymns to your name, O Most High, to proclaim your steadfast love at daybreak, your faithfulness at night. That's when we need some faith, when it's getting dark. That's when we call on our faith. With 10-stringed harp, with voice and lyre together. Mizmor Shir.
Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat, Tov lehodot l'Adonai, Ulzamer l'Shimcha Elyon, Ulzamer l'Shimcha Elyon. Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat, Tov lehodot l'Adonai, Ulzamer l'Shimcha Elyon, Ulzamer l'Shimcha Elyon. Lehagid b'boker chasdecha, ve'munarcha b'leilot, alei asor v'alei navel, alei higayon bechinor. Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat, Tov lehodot l'Adonai, Ulzamer l'Shimcha Elyon, Ulzamer l'Shimcha Elyon. Tzadikat Amar Yifrach Ke'erez Balvanon Yizkeh betulim bevet Adonai bechatzrot Eloheinu yafrichu od yenuvun beseva Teshenim verananim yiyu lehagid ki yasha Adonai suri velo ahavlata bo.
As we move to Shalom Alechem, page 24, welcoming in those ministering angels. I'm thinking about the concept that every good deed that we do creates an angel, a messenger, an advocate. We need advocates in these days. And it's a as we offer Shalom Alechem, let's do that, celebrating the goodness that lifts us up even in tough times. The miracle of being here. Shalom Alechem 24. Put good news in the chat.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Amelachim, Akadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem Leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamlachim, Akadosh Baruch Hu. Barchoni Leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mihi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, Akadosh Baruch Hu. Seichem Leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mihi Melech, Malachei Amlachim, Akadosh Baruch Hu. Page 26. Yitgadal v'yitgadash Shemei Rabbah, Ve'alma livrach yirutei, ve'amlich malchutei, B'chayechon u'vyomechon, u'chayedecho Beit Yisrael, Ba'gala, Ba'gala, u'vizman kariv, ve'imeru, Amen. Yehei Shemei Rabbah mevorach, Le'olam u'lamei almaya. The high holidays are coming soon. Yitbarach ve'yishtabach, v'yipar v'yitromam ve'yitnaseh, ve'yitadar ve'yitaleh, ve'yitalal, shmei dekudsha richu le'ela. Min kol birchata ve'shirata, tushbechata ve'nechemata, Gamiran be'alma ve'imeru, Amen.
Rising now for the Baruch Hu, either in body or spirit, however we're able. Baruch Hu is on page 28.
Yalla lai lai lai, yalla lai lai lai, yalla lai lai lai, yalla lai lai lai, la la lai lai lai, yalla lai lai lai, yalla lai lai lai. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, Le'olam va'ed, Le'olam va'ed, Yalla lai lai lai, la la lai lai lai, Yalla lai lai lai, yalla lai lai lai. We're on page 30 as we welcome in the night with the words of Ma'ariv, Aravim.
Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arrange the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzevaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on the evening.
Baruch atah Adonai HaMa'ariv Aravim.
Page 32.
Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael Amcha ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot chukim u'mishpatim otanu lemadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shokveinu u'vekumeinu nasiach bechukecha ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו ויורך ימינו ויורך ימינו ובהם נהגה יומם ולילה, יומם ולילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. ברוך שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד.
If you are standing, you may be seated. We've come to be a hafta on page 36.
Actually, you know what? I was thinking, could we read on page 37?
I would love that. Join with us. 37. Love your God with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work, whether you are tired or you are rested. Let them guide the work of your hands. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. Don't leave them at the doorway of your house or outside your gate. They are reminders to do all of my mitzvot so that you can be holy for God. I am Adonai, your God, who led you out of Egypt to become your God. I am Adonai, your God.
Adonai Elohechem Emet. We continue with Mi Chamocha on page 40.
Page 40.
Emet, emet. Emet, emet. True it is, true and certain it is. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai. Mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh. Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai. Mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh. Nora tehilot, o sefele, mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh. Who is like you? Who is like you, Adonai? Who is like you, Adonai? When Moses and the children crossed the sea, they sang to you with songs of joy. Who is like you, Adonai? Malchutecha ra'u v'anecha, bokei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam. This is our God, they all cried in one voice. Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. V'ne'emar ki fada Adonai et Yaakov, u'go'alo chazak mimenu. Baruch atah Adonai, Gal Yisrael.
Ga'al Yisrael, Redeemer of Israel. Redemption, that's when those things that we're stretching to reach, to get to, come to be. This is the season of awakening, of setting our minds to our dreams, of knowing that it may not be quite so far out of reach, it might be just around the corner. Elul, the month of possibility. Page 43, let there be love.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu, Vehamidenu, Leshalom. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai Hapurei Sukkot Shalom Aleinu Ve'al kol Amo Yisrael Ve'al kol Yoshvei Tevel Ve'al Yerushalayim.
So, in a moment, we'll rise for the Amidah. Those gorgeous words just still ringing in our ears. As you step into the Amidah, maybe you can let yourself be unburdened of a care you've been schlepping around this week. Is there something that you can just put to the side? Is there some intention you can bring that will infuse your Shabbat with some added holiness? One little thing you can do to raise yourself up in these precious 25 hours ahead. We rise as we are able for the Amidah 46.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak ve'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel ve'Elohei Leah האל הגדול הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Page 50, or is it 168? I can never remember. It's 50. Thank you. Memories. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, mechayeh hakol atah rav lehoshia, morid hatal. מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומדומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישוע, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, ובראשים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Continuing at our own pace, seated or standing, just taking a few moments for our own private meditations, those on the pages of your Siddur, the meditations of your heart. We'll meet up again in a few moments.
If you finished your private meditations, join me on page 60 as we pray for that great peace to descend upon us. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. ברוך אתה אדוני המברך את עמו ישראל בשלום.
Turning now to our Misha Berach, our prayer for healing. Please add those beloved names into the chat if you're so moved. Healing of body, healing of spirit, trusting in the energy of our united prayer as we offer perhaps our most sacred prayer, the Misha Berach.
Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misha Berach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
By unmuting myself. A story, The Witnessing Tree. I learned it from Yerachmiel Tillis. The wheel of fortune had taken a downturn for a once wealthy Jew who lived in the Moroccan city of Rabat. He was forced to leave home and wander from place to place and town to town in search of a new business opportunity that would enable him to once again support the large extended family that had come to depend upon him. It wasn't easy. So many failed attempts. Yet finally he succeeded in amassing a significant amount of money and he could finally go home. On the way, he passed through the town of Sali, and since it was Friday evening, almost getting late, he decided to remain there for Shabbat. But it was there a good friend from his youth lived, someone whom he had not seen in many, many years, and so he knew he'd find a warm welcome at this house. And indeed, as soon as he arrived, and his friend saw him, he insisted that his surprise guest remained for Shabbat. The weary traveler accepted the invitation with relief, and they sat together under a tree. So much to catch up on, so many stories of their lives to tell. When they finished their conversation, it was just before candlelighting. Not wanting to hold money on Shabbat, the traveler gave his money pouch to his gracious host for safekeeping. As soon as he had handed it over, he breathed a sigh of relief. Now he didn't have to worry about his hard-won fortune on the day of rest. But by Saturday night, the traveler was anxious to reach home. It was time to share good news with his family, and so immediately after Havdalah, he requested that the money pouch be given back from his friend. "What are you talking about?" said the host. "You never left any money with me." The traveler couldn't believe his ears, and he begged his friend to please return the money for which he had worked so long and hard. His family was depending upon him. The host was beside himself with indignation. "You have some nerve," he shouted. "Aren't you embarrassed? You slept in my house, you ate at my table, you sat under my tree, and now you dare hurl these false accusations my way?" The traveler soon realized that there was no chance his host was going to return the money. So he decided to go directly to the rabbinical court, the Beit Din, where he would make his claim. The rabbi of Sali at the time was the famous Or Chaim, the Rabbi Chaim ibn Alter. When the two men went to his house, Rabbi Chaim listened carefully to both sides. Then he addressed the host. "Your guest claims the money, which he says that he deposited with you before Erev Shabbat. What do you say?" "It never happened," the man answered. "This man is slandering me." Rabbi Chaim turned to his guest. "Perhaps there was a witness there at the time you say you handed your host this money?" "No," said the traveler. "There were no witnesses. I mean, just before Shabbat, we sat under a tree. That's when I removed the pouch and gave it to him." "Under a tree? Very good," said Rabbi Chaim. "Go back and summon that tree to be a witness on your behalf." The traveler was taken aback, but well aware of the Or Chaim's reputation as a miracle worker, he stood up and left the house and headed for the tree, not questioning the rabbi's instructions. After just a few minutes of uncomfortable silence, Rabbi Chaim remarked to the host that certainly his guest had already reached the tree and would return soon. What do you mean, Rabbi? Said the man. That tree is quite far from here. Looking into the man's eyes, Rabbi Chaim then declared, give the innocent man back his money right now. If you didn't receive the money from him under that tree, how is it that you knew where the tree is? The man turned pale. Without saying another word, he promptly pulled the sack from his coat pocket, returned it, and when the traveler returned, placed it into his hands. Who went home, once again was able to provide for his family. So my story ends with a witnessing tree. And on this Shabbat, when we read Parashat Shoftim, a Torah portion which speaks about the meting out of justice and judgment, of life and death, and on this first day of the month of Elul, which will lead us into the holiest season of our year, I'm thinking about the concept of being an aide, a judge, a witness. That's the Hebrew word for witness, an aide. And I'm thinking about how each of us can be witnesses to the deeds of our own lives as we enter this period of self-assessment. As our Torah portion attests, the act of witnessing is essential to a just society, for it implies consciousness and cognizance, an awareness of both self and other. We read this very week, Al pi shnaim edim, or shlosha edim, only on the testament of 2 or 3 witnesses, yamut hamet, a person shall be put to death. Lo yumat al pi ed echad, a person can't be put to death on testimony of just a single witness. Witnessing is a weighty matter, even in non-capital cases. And for that reason, this week we also read, Lo yakum ed echad ba'ish, a single witness may not testify against a person. L'chol avon u'l'chol chatat, any guilt or blame for any offense that may be committed. A legal case can be valid only al pi shnei edim, on the testimony of 2 witnesses, or perhaps more. In ancient society, important business transactions would take place at the gates of the town in the presence of edim, witnesses. Thus, witnesses were essential to commerce. And of course, witnesses were in ancient times and remain today essential when determining innocence or guilt in a court of law. Our tradition teaches that one who has witnessed a grave offense is morally obligated to expose the offender, and that a public curse can be uttered against someone who withholds testimony. Also, the actions of a witness must align with their accusation. For example, if the penalty for the witness deed was stoning, it was the witness who was to throw the first stone. Teaches the 10 Commandments, Lo ta'aneh v're'echa eid shaker, do not bear false witness. For the one who does must him or herself bear the punishment which would have been inflicted on the accused. In other words, if you've seen something, speak out, but only if you're sure, only if you speak the truth. According to Jewish law, testifying witnesses were subject to 3 kinds of examination. Hakira, inquiry, in order to determine the time and place at which an event occurred. Derisha, an examination related to the specific substance of the facts, who, what, when. And Bedika, a deeper interrogation or cross-examination. As we enter the month of Elul, and this our most awesome season of the year, the shofar blast each morning beckons us to examine our lives as sacred witnesses before the ultimate judge. Looking over the past year, we are to perform Hakira, to ask what happened, when and why. Drisha, how did it happen? And Bedika, Is there more to know? What secrets, what truths do we hold in our hearts? What can we learn? Well, it is in fact the other Rabbi Feldman here at Beth-El, who was the federal prosecutor and is thus perhaps more suited to this task. I'm going to now wade a little deeper into some more legalese. I promise it won't last long. Rabbi Menachem Feldman, no relation, in his article Holy Witnesses, explains that in the Jewish mind, there are two categories of witnesses: clarifying witnesses and establishing witnesses. Clarifying witnesses observe an event and later testify that it has occurred. Perhaps that's the tree of my story. And it's an important role, no doubt. As I have explained, life and death, fortune and loss can hinge on the utterance of a clarifying witness. However, when it comes to clarifying witnesses, the events which they have seen carry within themselves their own various obligations, penalties, and consequences. For example, robbing a bank results in X. Slandering someone results in Y. God forbid, killing someone results in Z. But brilliantly teaches Rabbi Menachem Feldman, in the Jewish paradigm, there is a whole second category of witnesses. These are called establishing witnesses, and they have an entirely different role. You see, under Jewish law, there are certain events which have no legal significance. It's as if they don't exist unless there are witnesses present. This is the definition of an establishing witness. For example, a deem at a wedding ceremony. These witnesses not only attest that the union has taken place, but they actually establish the marriage itself. I always tell couples who come to me to officiate at their wedding that technically they don't need me. They don't need the cantors singing those magical brachot. What they need is a deem. Do you remember who witnessed, who signed your ketubah? Without those ministering presences, a Jewish marriage has no significance. Without those two signatures, there is no wedding. And it's actually the same with a get, a Jewish divorce. In these moments, the witness is not just a passive observer, there to reveal what is going on and perhaps later report it. No, that's the first category, clarifying witnesses. But as in the case of the wedding, the establishing witnesses, the adim, actively create the moment. Today, as I've now said multiple times, we begin this month, the month of Elul, spelled Aleph, Lamed, Vav, Lamed. A verse from the Song of Songs, a famous one, Ani ledodi v'dodi li. I am my beloved's, and my beloved is mine. Each of those words begin with these same letters. Teaches Rabbi Menachem Feldman, in this month of Elul, God calls out to creation as a groom to his beloved bride, and we stand as adim, witnesses to a potential union, the drawing down of God into our broken world. This season, we are not clarifying witnesses, passively observing from an objective, safe distance. Nah, I don't think God can exist in this world. I mean, look at it. No, in the month of Elul, we are called to be establishing witnesses, like those adim at the wedding. If I am to exist in this world, says God, I need your signatures. I need you to make it happen. Did you know that every time we say the Shema, we affirm this truth? It's easy to look at this prayer as a passive affirmation of faith. I believe there is only one God. But look at it closer. Sorry about all the visual aids. Here it is, the Shema. Even if you don't understand Hebrew, you can see the ayin and the dalet in the first and last word. Together, Those two letters form that sacred word, aid, witness. It's a radical notion embedded in every utterance of the Shema. When we say, if God is to be one, we have to sign on the dotted line. Maybe the Shema is God calling to us, especially in this season of Elul, when we are taught HaMelech Basadeh. God is in the field, searching, calling out with the raw urgency of a shofar blast each morning. I cannot make it in this world without you, says God. I cannot exist alone. Will you be my Edim? Can I get a witness? As Jews, we have attested to God's presence, even in humanity's darkest hours. Our people's calling, as with witnesses watching a couple under a glorious wedding canopy, is a calling of hope and of possibility. The belief that we can create a world radiating with creativity and love and trust. I'm thinking back to the tree in my story. Don't worry, I'm winding down. Our Tanakh, in its poetic moments, imagines objects of permanence, like stones or the moon, or even poems, invoking themselves as witnesses. As we begin this sacred month, may we know, may we feel that all the stuff of this world is standing at attention, witnessing our deeds, even a simple tree in whose shade we might sit for a moment, sharing memories with an old friend. The world is watching. The trees, the rocks, the stars, our loved ones, and even the stranger whose eyes meet our gaze. HaMelech Basadeh. And if they are witnesses, may we too have the courage to be Edim, to witness ourselves, to really see ourselves, our lives, our choices, our habits, our words, without illusion. And may we remember that as establishing witnesses, we have the power not only to observe reality, to report upon it, but to create it anew. We rise for Aleinu 282.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר וראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
You may be seated, taking now, as always, a moment for memory. I'll, of course, be mentioning names from our Kaddish list, but if there's any you would like to add in the chat, please do so. We are thinking this evening of Beverly Rackler, not yet buried. So we're not formally saying Kaddish, but we are thinking of her, sending our condolences to the Reckler family. And of those who died this past week, Millicent, Zan, and those in the period of Shloshim, the 30 days, Susan Abrahams, Rose Grunther, Gerald Eisenberg, Madeline Kern, Yelena Ginsburg. And those whose yortzites fall this week, Phoebe Abelo, Daniel Axon, Estelle Green, Saul Green, Edith Grossman, Marie London, Kenneth Lux, Benjamin Nassau, Herman Schechter. And all those we name in our hearts. If it's your custom to rise, if you're remembering a loved one, please do so. Kaddish is on 294. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'vyomechon, u'v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kari v'yimru Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'alam u'lalmei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei d'kudsha b'rechu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran bi'alma v'yimru Amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru Amen. May the one who creates harmony and peace and healing on high bring that to us, to all Israel, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, to all humanity. We say one last time, Amen.
Amen.
You may be seated. A few quick announcements before we head over to Kiddush and Motzi. Tonight, our virtual oneg will be hosted by Elaine Springer. Thank you. We'll do a brief breakout rooms with a question that will last a few minutes. And then if you want to stay on, you can go into the oneg and just share a nash and a smile and some conversation. Torah study tomorrow morning. As always, 9:15, a Leiled Shabbat service at 10:30, Havdalah at 8:30. For those that have registered, we will be meeting you at a safe social distance in the Feldman backyard. And others can, of course, join via live stream to participate. Sunday, August 23rd, that's this Sunday, an author talk with Nicholas Blinko, who wrote More Noble Than War, A Soccer History of Israel-Palestine. I'm sure our website has those details or the last email. And next Wednesday will be the third dazzling session that's been taught by Sophia Watman. All that jazz, 3 evenings of musical performance. Also, a reminder that Slichot, that beautiful mystical service experience that happens on the last Saturday evening before Rosh Hashanah, will happen on September 12th this year, and we will have the incredible addition of our confirmands offering some of their statements of Jewish intention, and I think it's going to be a very evocative and beautiful evening. So that's at 8 p.m. on Saturday, September 12th. Thank you so much to our incredible cantor and accompanist. I know they just dazzle us every evening. And to Greg and Stu for showing up over and over again to make this happen. None of it can happen without the tech, the Margaloff family for our challah, and to the Harnicks on an amazing anniversary. Wow, 60 years, it's humbling, as is your energy and love. So we are going to go now to Kiddush that will be offered by the Rabbani Rodriguez family, Ray and Ilanit. And if you have a Kiddush cup, a Kos Kiddush, feel free to raise it up with them. We are on page 5.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher קידשנו במצוותיו ורצה בנו בשבת קודשו באהבה וברצון הנחלנו זיכרון למעשה בראשית כי הוא יום תחילה למקרא קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, לשבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת.
L'chaim.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your beautiful spirits, for your family. If you think that's good, you should hear her Torah reading. Thank you, Ilanit. And now Aaron Romero is going to offer motzi. We miss having our Shabbat bunch here with their motzi, but it's great to see you, Aaron. I saw you before. Yay! And we really miss your desserts. Sorry, I'll be quiet. Go ahead.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lehem min haaretz.
Amen. Everyone, if you have a challah with you, take a bite. And this is what I want you to be thinking about. As we're singing our concluding song, the question I'm going to ask you for your breakout room is related to witnessing. What is an event that you have witnessed in your life that made an impression on you? Sharing moments of witnessing. So we're going to offer our concluding song, then we're going to go into about a 5-minute breakout room, can get to know some new people, and then please stay on afterward if you'd like to stay for the oneg.
Okay. How about we let's change it up a little bit. How about we turn to page 327. We'll do a little Ein Keloheinu, known also in Judeo-Espanol or Judaismo, also known as Ladino, non como nuestro Dios. Ein Keloheinu, ein Kadonenu, ein Kemalkeinu, ein Kemoshienu, non como nuestro Dios, non como nuestro Señor, non como nuestro Rey, non como nuestro Salvador. Mi Eloheinu, mi Adonenu, mi Malkeinu, mi Moshienu, quien como nuestro Dios, quien como nuestro Señor, quien como nuestro Rey, quien como nuestro Salvador. No del Eloheinu, no del Adonenu, no del Malkeinu, no del Moshienu. Lo haremos a nuestro Dios, lo haremos a nuestro Señor, lo haremos a nuestro Rey, lo haremos a nuestro Salvador. The last one was a real tongue twister, I gotta admit. Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshienu. Bendicho nuestro Dios, bendicho nuestro Señor, bendicho nuestro Rey, bendicho nuestro Salvador. Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonenu, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Moshienu. Tú sos nuestro Dios, tú sos nuestro Señor, tú sos nuestro Rey, tú sos nuestro Salvador. A buen sabato. Wow. Shabbat shalom lekulam.
I think that's the first time I've heard that done right. Perfect. Okay, you're going into chat rooms if we are granted the technological grace, and you are going to talk about a moment that you witnessed that it left an impression on you. Maybe you were an establishing witness, maybe you were a clarifying witness. We don't have to get technical, or just talk to each other. Shabbat shalom.
All right, we're not muted anymore. They can hear us. Becky.
Right.
Hi, Elaine.
Hi, Sandy. Are you in the Hamptons now?
Yeah, I'm here with Rachel, and we'll drive back tomorrow. Stuart's in Great Neck.
Oh, well, okay. Good to enjoy a nice little reprieve from what's going on in this world a little bit. Not
Very
out
little.
there. Not out there. So what are you witnessing out there?
Out here, it's a lot of people eating in restaurants, which has really surprised me because they're very good about mask wearing, even on the beach. But I can't believe how many people are outside eating. It makes me a little concerned.
Eating inside the restaurant.
No. They're all outside, but
okay.
they're really not, they can't social distance. I mean, the restaurants are close together in the Hamptons, and they're all big families, and they're right next to each other. It's a cause for concern. We'll put it that way.
I'm witnessing something like that where I live. There's a basketball court, and kids are playing basketball and shooting the basket and the ball and everything, and they're not wearing masks. And there are dozens of kids right here, right near the police station. We have a police station right over there, and we have a mayor, and they just can't seem to stop it. It's not, but that's what we're witnessing, right? How about you? What are you witnessing there? You. Susan.
Oh, me. Yeah, I don't know who you is. I'm not witnessing very much. I'm in so much.
I
basically,
know.
the only time I go out is to pick up a food from a ShopRite, or I'll walk around the neighborhood. I found an area that I really like because there's nobody around. I can't say I see a lot of people. If you walk on Middle Neck Road, you see a lot of people through parts of Kensington. But I go up the street by the Limelight, that little deli, and I go all the way up, and I don't see a soul. I walk in the morning, nobody there, which is great.
Everything is so strange. So strange.
Yeah, so strange. Debbie, hi.
Hi. So
hi, Debbie. Hi.
I'm bringing books home from the Hamptons for you.
Oh, I love
I
you.
already packed them.
That's so great.
I couldn't remember which author you liked, so I packed all three that I found.
That's a true teacher.
Well, I'm reading.
Teacher.
I'm currently reading Bellwether.
Yeah.
Judy gave me Bellwether, so I'm reading that now.
Oh, you've got Bellwether.
Got that. And trying to fly through it because there's a wait list already.
Oh, I have my own copy. So
is anybody witnessing the fires in California on the news? You see can you believe? I have two children living in California. Not that because it's my children, right? It's just every year, one after the other, acres and acres. We witness these fires, and you can smell them all the way in Nebraska.
Oh my gosh!
Yes, you can.
Wow.
To witness a thing like that and bring in the firemen, and I can't believe I can't believe it, what it looks like. Has anybody seen it? Nobody see it on the news?
My brother is going from the LA area. He's driving up
right.
tomorrow to San Francisco. I said, I don't even know if you're going to get all the way up there. They may turn you around.
Right.
Chris Nauer's, one of her nephews is a firefighter in Northern California.
Really? Who's
I
it?
think
Hi.
Chris Nauer, but I think now he's I think he's now a coordinator. You know, he's been on the job for so long. I don't think he goes into the fires anymore. I think he coordinates the different groups.
Can you imagine a thing like that? Can you imagine?
No,
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
In the middle of everything else.
right.
We won't
Yeah.
even talk about everything else.
No,
It's
No.
Shabbat. We don't want to go there.
no. Anyway, let's try for this month of Elul to witness beautiful things, right?
Right.
To
Well, we
witness,
just,
to
if
witness.
you look for them, they're there. You know, they're a little bit hard to find right now, but when you look for them, they're all there.
When you look, what's all there for the what miracle?
Things.
Good.
You know, the bad things are hitting you in the face constantly these days. But dig a little deeper. There's plenty of good happening.
Yeah, in between,
Mhm.
a little in between. Yes, let's hope to witness it now for the new year that's coming
Amen.
up. The new year should bring us some good tidings. I think we're ready for that. Yes.
We are ready.
Listen, did you read the book, The Vietnamese Boy? You know about that book. You must know about it, right?
Welcome to the ONEG.
Hello.
Welcome to the ONEG.
Say goodbye and go. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks for hosting.
Thank you. Shabbat shalom. Beautiful.
Bye.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Hello, Elaine. How are you?
I am
Shabbat
good.
shalom.
We're
Hi, hi, Lane. How are you?
good,
Which
Elaine. How are
Elaine?
you?
Elaine, Linda, hi.
Hi.
Hi, Linda. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, dear.
Hello, Aaron. Hello, Karen. Unmute.
Okay.
Are we all unmuted?
Yes, we're all on mute.
Every